It's the middle of March on the central west side of Arkansas, and Papaw's garden is just about ready for planting. So let's learn a little bit more after I catch the football a few times. What have you done since we were last here?
Well, I burned it off, but it's been about a month since I burned the garden off. And if you notice all the greens growing around it everywhere, as soon as the sun pops up, needless to say, so is what seeds left in the ground. So, and I could not till it because it's been too wet.
What's the next step?
After we get the garlic pulled up and all of our plants out that we don't want in the middle of the garden, then we have to come in here and till it. But the first thing you got to do is make sure the ground is dry enough. And my grandmother taught me this. If you make it up and it makes a hard ball like this, see this hard ball? And don't fall apart, very easy, it's too wet. You want it real crumbly like this. When you make it into a ball, it'll crumble back up. And that's dry enough. If you do it too wet, then it's gonna make it like a brick. It'll make it really hard. If you'll notice my rows here, I really wouldn't even have to even, these that are already raised up, you wouldn't even have to even really till these. I will anyway, just to knock the green grass down. But if I'd done it earlier, I could have tilled it, planted my plants, then I could have mulched it. And after I mulched them, after getting my plants coming up, then you wouldn't have to weed it. It saves a tremendous amount of work, and that's why I can raise so much in such a small area with so little work. Just learned that over the years.
What are you going to do next time we come?
Well, we're going to try to pick get all this garlic that we had out here in the middle. I don't know if you're going to pull that up, because it's very deep. I think you're going to run it. You're going to have to get you a hole.
Nope.
There's one. That's a good garlic. What we're going to do, we're going to replant those. You'll notice it's the wrong time of the year to do this, but we need to move these out of here so we can get this planted so they're not in the way. If you'll notice, the bulbs in them are still too wet. These are supposed to be dug in the fall once the tops have all died out. And then you keep them, and then you can transplant them then or whenever you'd like to do it, because the garlic will keep quite a while.
What's the process involved in tilling?
Well, a lot of people are going to rake their garden first, but I don't. Whatever bulk is in it, I just mulch it into it. Now, some people believe in tilling, but when you do it, it destroys a lot of bacteria in the soil. And the good enzyme, and you do have to have the enzymes and things in the soil, and the good organisms in the soil to make it grow up ground rich. If you go in here and you till it too much, it's going to kill it. So all I'm going to do is go down through here and just knock down the green grass. And if the green grass gets too tall, I tell everybody I'm going to go mow my garden, and they laugh at me. But when you mow the garden, it clips off the clippings, and you leave the clippings in the grass, off the grass, whatever's in here. But then when your tiller goes down, it mulches it very nicely into the soil, and then what it does, it makes the soil a lot looser. And I noticed a while ago, you were walking on the hills here. Never walk where you're going to plant, because it packs it down. You need to stay right between the rows, and that way you have your same path every time, because it's where you walk is going to pack that soil down more and more and more and more.
Okay.
Right here is armadillo hole. Armadillos will get in your garden, and they go after worms and things in your garden. They don't really go after the plants, but then you'll see the holes in your garden. And they can get in, like if you leave your gate open, they'll come right in, they'll find it. Also, these greens you see here, these are turnip greens. Now these are volunteer. This is what come off the turnip greens that were left, and they seeded out, and this is what come up. These are the best greens, the winter greens coming through the winter. They're a lot better than you get in the spring and summer. So if you're going to have good turnip greens, always plant them in the fall and let them go through the winter.
So what we learned today, number 1, it's still best to burn your garden off to put lime back into the soil. Number 2, don't till the ground up until it's dry enough. If the soil you want to till forms a ball that doesn't want to crumble easily, it's still too wet. Once the soil crumbles easily, it's ready for tilling. Number 3, before tilling, make sure you clear out live plants like garlic so you can either replant them or eat them. Number 4, don't over-till your garden so you don't kill all the enzymes and good bacteria. If you waited too long after burning it off, you can mow down tall grasses before tilling and then till the clippings into the garden to keep your soil loose, which is a good thing. Number 5, walk in between the rows only so you don't pack down your soil too much where you intend to plant. Number 6, armadillos in your garden. Bad for worms, fine for plants. Number 7, winter greens like turnip, which you should plant in the fall, can survive freezing temperatures and should sprout up at the beginning of spring. These are better than the summer and fall greens. That's all for today. Join us next month in the Garden with Papaw.